A very special episode Beyond the Pitch. In Global Football Show, I'm your host, always Phil Brown, joined with my regular co-host Zach Loy. Very special piece of bonus content for you today. We have Harry Redknapp with us to talk about what's going on at Spurs, Daniel Levy. I'll ask him about Jude Bellingham, who, of course, Harry gave him his debut. And a quick question about Mikel Arteta at Bournemouth, West Ham, what have you. Harry, first of all, thanks very much for joining us, mate.
Pleasure. Great to join you.
Harry, your beloved Spurs going through enormous change. I watched them against Newcastle. Hard to believe they started a game like that where they were 5-0 down. Stellini's got the sack. Conte's got the sack. Mourinho's got the sack. Who's to blame for this? I mean, a lot of the focus is on the managers. I mean, you were there yourself. What's Daniel Levy's role in this?
Well, Daniel obviously runs the club, but I mean, he's not responsible for the players playing as bad as they did on Sunday. I mean, you know, we have to be fair to him. You know, I think they're in the top 4 or 5 spenders every year, but they've not recruited well. Whoever brings the players in, it's not the managers are not bringing players in anymore. It's a changing game now. You've all got heads of recruitment. You look at Chelsea; they bought about God knows how many players in. I'll guarantee you that lad Potter wouldn't even know half of them. They're just brought in by other people, heads of, you know, they've got so many different people, directors of football. It's crazy. And it's all you're doing now, really. You're coaching the players. You're giving the players and you're getting on the training on Monday to Friday, picking the team on Saturday, and getting on with the job, really. Back in the day, you chose every player when you were the head coach or the manager or whatever you want to call it. And that was all your responsibility. You picked the players. If they were no good, you took the blame. If they were great, fantastic, you got a pat on the back. If the team was no good, it was down to you. If they were great, you got all the credit. Nowadays, it's gone away from that. So it's very hard. And whatever system he played, I think he made a big mistake playing with a back 4, especially with 2 fullbacks who are not defensive minded. They're wingers or wing backs at best. He made a mistake, but at the end of the day, even if you play with a back 4, you don't expect at that level to concede 5 goals in about 28 minutes or whatever it was. It was scandalous.
Harry, today we're going to be seeing Nottingham Forest hosting Brighton and Chelsea hosting your former club, Brentford. One thing that Forest and Chelsea have in common, they both spent a lot in the summer. They both spent a lot in January, but that spending hasn't necessarily been conducive to results. I'm curious, in your 3 decades as manager, could you remember a time where it felt like a bunch of signings was more of a curse than a blessing?
Well, I mean, what they've done, you see, Chelsea are going to spend all this money, but they haven't bought a centre forward. They haven't bought a goal scorer. And it don't matter who you bring in. You can have 10 fantastic players who can pass the ball and they can do everything. But somebody at the end of the day has that knack of scoring a goal. And they haven't got that. That is the problem with Chelsea.
On that topic, Harry Kane, of course, could very well leave Spurs this summer. I would imagine he's asking himself big questions like that. Do you think that Harry Kane will leave Spurs? Obviously, there's lots of clubs that like him, and if so, where do you think he'll go?
I don't know. It's going to be interesting if Pochettino goes to Chelsea. I mean, that wouldn't go down very well at all with the Tottenham fans, that's for sure. But you never know. If Pochettino's there, I'm sure Harry got on well with him. And it's a great move for him. Not far from, I think he's building a new house in that area. He's a family man. Probably he'd be quite happy in not moving to the north of England or wherever he'd have to go. I don't see him going abroad. I really don't. The only club abroad that would interest someone like him would be a Real Madrid. And I don't see that happening. I wouldn't see him going to Germany. I've got a feeling he'll stay and sign a new contract. I may be wrong, but I think he could stay at Tottenham.
Interesting.
Harry, last weekend we saw West Ham getting a 4-0 win at Bournemouth, or as I like to call it, the Harry Redknapp Derby. Obviously, you have a lot of experience with both those clubs, but I think that a lot of people, including myself, considered Bournemouth to be goners. Despite the loss to West Ham, they're in a very good position as they look to escape relegation. I'm curious, what have you made of their season under Gary O'Neill, and what do you feel are their biggest strengths as they look to avoid relegation?
I feel I think they've got a great chance of staying up. I really do. I think they're almost safe. I think another 2 points, 35 points. I think that may well be it. Certainly 36 one more win would be enough. They've done great under Gary. The football's good. They play attractive football. They attack teams. Okay, they didn't score last week, but they went to Arsenal, scored 2. They went to Tottenham and scored 3. They go and have a go. Wherever they play, they look to attack teams. And they've got pace in the wide positions. Solanke. They're a good side, Bournemouth. I don't see any danger. I think Bournemouth will stay up for sure. We've got new owners. We've got American owners come in. It looks like he's got great plans for the club. He wants to take the club forward. So I think it's all, at the moment, it's all very positive at Bournemouth Football Club.
I want to ask you about West Ham, because obviously one of the big things that happened in the last 12 months has been the death of David Gold. I'm not sure how that's going to affect the football club going forward. Harry, obviously you know David well. I've had David on this podcast a while back when West Ham were moving into a new stadium. It's been a bit of an indifferent season for them. They've been decent. They've been really good in Europe, but I think they had higher expectations in the league. What do you think's gone wrong for them this year?
I don't know. You looked. They're suddenly striking a bit of form. Bowen, I think, is an outstanding player. He's had a quiet season in terms of goals. Antonio as well. He's just suddenly come to life late in the season and started to score. It's just been, I don't know, whether they get involved in the Thursday night European games, playing Sunday, that can have quite an effect, that Thursday night one, and they're in the semi-final of the competition, so they've got a big chance of winning that now. But sometimes that can certainly affect your league form, and I think that seems to have happened to West Ham this year.
West Ham, currently the lowest ranking London team in the Premier League. The highest ranking team is Arsenal. They're going to be facing off against Manchester City today. But coming into this match on the back of 3 consecutive draws to Liverpool, West Ham, and Southampton, Harry, if you're Mikel Arteta right now, what are you telling your players going into this match?
Well, I think they could go into it. They've had a fantastic season. We've come this far. Don't let it go now. Let's finish the job. Let's go there tonight. We're suddenly underdogs in the title race, but we can get a result here. I think Arsenal can cause Man City problems tonight in certain areas. Certainly out on the wide right, Saka is, a fantastic player. I don't know who Man City will play at left back now. Nathan Ake, looked like he did a hamstring last game, so I don't know if he'll be fit. Who will they play at left back? Arsenal can cause them problems tonight. It's going to be a really interesting game.
All right, we're almost done with you, man. I want to ask you about Jude Bellingham, because obviously you gave him his debut at Birmingham. Young fella you know very well, of course. You've given some amazing players their debut over the years. I want to ask you about what you think of him and where you think would be best placed for his future.
I think he's amazing, but I think he wants to go to Real Madrid. That's what I've heard from a very, very good source close to him. I've heard that he really wants to go to Real Madrid. So I think Liverpool sort of dropped out the chase. That would leave Man City, maybe Chelsea. But the rumour is, or the word is, that Real Madrid is where he wants to go.
Yeah. As you mentioned, Jude Bellingham has everything it takes to be one of the best midfielders of this upcoming generation. One of the best midfielders of this current generation has been Luka Modric. I was reading an interview where he talked about how much you changed his career path at Tottenham, moving him from the wings to the central midfield area. I'm curious, what have you made of Modric's development over the past decade? And similarly to what we were just talking about, do you think that Bellingham could have what it takes to fill Modric's role in Real Madrid?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Luke has just been amazing. What a footballer. Absolutely incredible. Great guy, great professional. He's just absolutely top drawer. Just, the way he plays the game, controls the game. Yeah, I think Bellingham would be, it would be interesting, yeah. To go there and even to play alongside Modric would only improve his game. I'm sure he could learn so much from playing with Luka. But I think Bellingham is a great talent. He's got everything to become one of the great midfield players.
My last question: who would you like to see get the Spurs job?
Well, now it's very open. I don't know really who's available. I think I'm ready. I'll go back. I'd like to get it. I could do with about £15 million a year. It would be very handy.
Well, to be fair, you took over from Martin Yall, didn't you, and got them in the Champions League? So you done all right there, all right?
Well done. Listen, I don't know. I get it. Maybe they're talking about Vincent Kompany could be of interest. You know, that would be interesting. He's a great guy. Looks a fantastic young man. Top player. Looks like he could be a great manager.
We will see. Harry, mate, as always, thank you very much for taking the time to do this and chat with you. Have a wonderful summer, mate. What's up?
Anytime.
Legend. Thanks, Harry. Cheers, mate. Take care.
Bye, guys. Bye, guys. Yeah. Bye-bye.